The workers of this factory are pouring their heart and their soul and their blood into defending our nation and keeping our people healthy and safe. You make America proud. You really do, and I want to thank you very much. That's why I'm here.
Well, there's President Trump right here in the Valley yesterday with some words of encouragement for the workers over at the Honeywell plant by Sky Harbor. As you know, Honeywell is one of the dozens of American companies switching production in the wake of this pandemic.
The president flew in all the way from Washington, D.C. to see the work being done here in Phoenix for his first public appearance outside of our nation's capital in more than a month. And he was not alone for that VIP flight on Air Force One. Javier standing by with the Arizonans who were able to fly to the state along with him.
Yeah, good morning, Olivia. Just the last hour, we talked with Arizona Senator Martha McSally, who was on board Air Force One with the president yesterday, joined by two other members of Arizona's congressional delegation, Congressman Paul Gosar and Congresswoman Debbie Lesko, joining us this morning to talk about the presidential visit. We know you're busy. We thank you very much for taking the time, but I only have a short time with you, so I want to get right to it. At this point, how confident are you in reopening Arizona when we continue to see a rise in the cases, and just over the last few days, we saw 33 new deaths?
Well, we need to reopen up our society, and so I think the president and Governor Ducey are doing a good job in having a measured approach, making sure we still do social distancing, keeping it safe, but we have to open up our society. People want to see their family, their friends, go to church, get back to work. It's time. It's time. We need to do it in a measured way. I'm so glad, excited that President Trump came to Arizona to see Honeywell. They have a huge presence here.
You talked on social distancing, and that was my next question. As the governor started easing conditions here in the state of Arizona, I couldn't help but notice fewer people were social distancing. I noticed this picture yesterday of you getting off Air Force One, taking a picture with Senator McSally and Congressman Gosar. You guys were very close, side by side. Is this setting a bad example in being that close to each other?
The thing that you and your listeners need to know is we were all tested. Everyone is tested before they see the president or vice president. We couldn't have gotten on the plane. So none of us were contagious. None of us could spread anything. That's why the president and vice president and the governor don't need to wear a mask, because they don't have coronavirus.
Let me ask you about the help for Arizonans. Over the last month plus, 500,000 Arizonans have lost jobs. There was some aid promised to them in the CARES Act. However, that aid has been delayed. What's been the holdup, considering they still haven't seen the pandemic relief assistance just yet?
Well, they have seen aid. I mean, we have thousands of businesses, small businesses in Arizona that have received the Paycheck Protection Loan Program, and in that they need to keep paying their workers in order to get it forgiven. We also have unemployment. I know a number of constituents who have called our office that have their unemployment checks coming in, and they got the extra $600 a week that the federal government gave in the CARES program. So they're getting up to $840 a week if they're unemployed here in Arizona.
As I understand it, I hate to interrupt you, as I understand it, that extra $600 has yet to be distributed and will start to be distributed this Friday.
No, that's not my understanding, because I know people personally that have gotten the extra $600. It's for the people that are self-employed gig workers. Those, the state of Arizona Department of Economic Security had to set up a special IT system, and those are the only people that are still affected. The rest of the people that had regular jobs, my understanding, and I've heard proof itself, that they already got the extra $600, but it's a special group of people that are self-employed or Uber drivers or Lyft drivers or maybe self-employed that have to wait. The state just didn't have the computer system set up, and I hope they do it soon.
Really quickly, last question. Is there more aid headed to the individuals?
You know, that's a good question. I don't know. I'm not back in Congress in session. Nancy Pelosi has delayed it. Of course, the U.S. Senate is back in Congress. And so I'm thinking that the U.S. Senate will work on a next package. And so then we'll be clued in. As you know, Democrats are control of the U.S. House. And so it's up to them to set the agenda and what we're going to see next. I think that it's important to make sure that not only are the workers covered, but small businesses, and we have to protect liability for large businesses so that they want to reopen. I mean, if they're afraid they're going to get sued from customers coming into their stores, it's going to be a little hard. So we need to have a package that does all that, although we need to make sure we're not spending too much money. So we need to do it in a thoughtful manner because our deficit and debt is just increasing immensely.
Yeah, great point about the liability with businesses. We thank you very much for taking the time this morning to speak with us, and we wish you well.
Thank you so much.